Trump-Xi summit at Busan is a game-changer within China's U.S. policy. Xi envisions an economically robust China with U.S. cooperation. Author, Nite Chakraborty. In the last 24 hours since the holding of the historic summit between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, a large number of commentaries in the American media as also in other Western papers have been written. While in U.S., the assessment of the outcome of talks is on expected lines. New York Times and other anti-Trump media focusing more on the gains of Xi Jinping as against Trump. The pro-Trump media, especially Fox News, have gone gaga by saying that Trump is a winner and he is the most capable world statesman as a truce maker. Everyone, however, agrees that the final trade deal and the future nature of political relations will depend on the coming summit in April next year in Beijing, as announced by Trump. The U.S. press is, however, missing to some extent a radical change in approach shown by the Chinese president during his talks with Trump on Thursday morning. The focus was solely on economy, and Xi's emphasis was more on long-term collaboration in harnessing synergies of both economies to get full dividends for both. One message that Xi gave at the Busan meet was China wants U.S. as a trusted ally in its coming journey for building a mega economy by 2049, the centenary year of the Communist Party taking over power in 1949. Global Times, the official mouthpiece of the Chinese government, in its editorial on 31st October mentioned that during the Busan meeting, President Xi said that China and U.S. should be partners and friends. This what history has taught us and what reality needs. As the GT sees it, the discussion provided new guidance and momentum for the stable development of bilateral ties and enhanced the world's common expectations for the further stabilization of China's relations. The Chinese official line is that whatever happened earlier leading to decline in China's relations was due to the earlier regimes, and under Trump, new era is going to open leading to high development of both economies. It is in this context Global Times quoted that significant remark of President Xi Jinping: China's development and revitalization goes hand in hand with the vision to make America great again, and the two countries are fully able to help each other succeed and prosper together. According to GT, during the meeting, President Xi emphasized that the two sides should think big and recognize the long-term benefit of cooperation and must not fall into a vicious cycle of mutual retaliation. History has repeatedly demonstrated that there are no insurmountable hurdles or unmanageable issues between China and the U.S. Based on the principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation, the two countries can certainly build a constructive relationship grounded in a long-term vision. It is clear that at the Busan meeting, both leaders spoke of joint leadership to deal with the pressing global issues. As President Xi stated, the world today is confronted with many tough problems. China and the U.S. can jointly shoulder our responsibility as major countries and work together to accomplish more great and concrete things for the good of our two countries and the whole world. This is not merely feasible but imperative. Cooperation between China and the U.S. in areas ranging from combating illegal immigration and telecommunications fraud to anti-money laundering, artificial intelligence, and tackling infectious diseases is crucial to the well-being and future of people in both nations and the world at large. Together, the two countries can achieve great things, GT editorial says. According to GT editorial, during this meeting, President Xi emphasized that in the face of winds, waves, and challenges, China should stay the right course, navigate through the complex landscape, and ensure the steady sailing forward of the giant ship of China's relations. U.S. President Trump expressed his hope for an even better future for both China and the U.S., noting that with joint efforts, the two countries can get many great things done for the world. As the world's most important bilateral relationship, people look forward to China and the U.S. making new and greater contributions to world peace and development under the strong strategic leadership of the two heads of state. This GT view is the official view of the Chinese government. President Xi talked at the Busan meet on these lines. The urge for bipolar domination was evident more from his side. Trump responded positively, but that enthusiasm evident by Xi on bipolar approach was not apparent in Trump's comments. There was no definite confirmation from his side up till now that the US president is ready for a long-term economic cooperation with China benefiting Chinese economy more than the US. Trump's advisors will give more thoughts to it before the US president decides finally on the parameters of that long-term collaboration. He has time till the next summit in April next year. The timing of Busan summit was very crucial for President Xi. Only 10 days back, the plenum of the Chinese Communist Party in its 4-day session discussed the current as also the next 5-year plan 2026 to 2030 and decided a draft which will be finalized at the National People's Congress due in March next year. This meeting, 1 month before the scheduled summit with Trump in April 2026, will be important for President Xi, who is the General Secretary of the CCP also. President Xi hopes to impart a new high-tech dimension to the next 5-year plan with the assistance of the U.S. assistance in some key areas. President Xi Jinping took part in the Busan summit on equal footing. In fact, if the Chinese media is to be believed, Xi dominated the discussions, though Trump, as usual, was on his hyperbole. For the global south, including India, the post-Busan diplomatic developments have to be carefully monitored. India might be coerced by Trump to conclude a trade deal by the end of November before the visit of the Russian President Vladimir Putin to India in the first week of December. Indian PM's options are now very limited. China has agreed to import soya beans from the U.S. Brazil President Lula agreed to the trade deal at a bilateral meeting with Trump at Kuala Lumpur during the ASEAN meet. South Korea, Japan, Thailand have all concluded deal already. PM Narendra Modi has to decide on the best option for India while giving his nod to the India's trade deal. Diplomatically, the present period for India is tough, but New Delhi has to deal with it with caution as also expertise.